Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're going exploring the world of the Taurus monkey. It's a fascinating combination of Western and Chinese zodiac influences.
And it's a combo that can lead to some really surprising insights.
Right, it's like how do the grounded, routine-loving Taurus and the quick-witted, adaptable monkey even exist in the same person?
Well, that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. We've got all sorts of research and articles here just ready to unlock some of those secrets.
Awesome. So to start, we're talking about folks born under the Taurus sign, but also born in a year of the monkey.
You got it. It's not just about each sign individually. It's about how those energies mix together, create something totally new.
I'm already intrigued. Okay, so
Right.
basic Taurus stuff, practicality, enjoying the finer things in life, not really into sudden change. Am I close?
You're on the right track. They love stability, appreciate the good life, think good food, cozy spaces, and lasting relationships. They're super dedicated too, especially once they've decided on something.
Makes sense. And then you throw the monkey energy into that mix.
Exactly. And that's where things get interesting.
So monkeys, clever, adaptable, always thinking outside the box. They seem like the opposite of a Taurus, right?
In some ways, yeah. Monkeys are known for being super playful and social, always up for a good time, always ready with a witty remark. And they can always find a solution, often in a way no one else would even thought of.
Okay, so we've got this personality that's somehow both grounded and spontaneous, practical and innovative.
Hmm.
I'm not sure how that works.
It seems almost paradoxical, doesn't it?
Totally.
But it does work. Our sources describe Taurus monkeys as resourceful and determined. They get stuff done. They don't give up easily. It's like they've got the tenacity of the bull and the ingenuity of the monkey all rolled into one.
I could see that. Think about someone like George Lucas, the guy behind Star Wars. That took a ton of vision, but also the know-how to actually bring it to life. Pretty Taurus monkey, if you ask me.
Great example. And it's not just in the creative fields either. Imagine a Taurus monkey going through something tough, like a job loss or a big life change.
Oh, yeah. That Taurus side would probably be hesitant at first.
You'd think so, right? But then their monkey side kicks in, helping them adapt. They're amazing problem solvers.
So they take a minute to process, use that Taurus practicality to make a plan, then bam, monkey resourcefulness helps them tackle the whole thing head on.
That's a great way to put it. That resilience is a major strength for them. They can handle almost anything, come out even stronger on the other side. They've got this inner strength.
It's inspiring, for sure. You mentioned determined earlier. That could be a good thing, but could that also be a weakness? Could that determination turn into plain stubbornness?
You're definitely onto something there. That determination, while usually a strength, can sometimes make them a bit inflexible. That Taurus side might dig in their heels, resist change, even when it's really needed.
That makes sense. So is there a way to work with that? Like if a Taurus monkey realizes they're being a little too stubborn, can they overcome it?
Self-awareness is key, for sure. Once they realize that stubborn streak is just their determination gone a bit sideways, they can start to manage it. It's all about balance. Sticking to their principles is good, but they've also got to be open to adapting when things change.
It's like this inner battle between the bull and the monkey. But ultimately, they can choose which side wins out.
Exactly. And that internal struggle actually adds to their depth. It's part of what makes them so interesting.
The sources we have also talk about a surprising emotional depth to them. We often think of Taurus as pretty grounded, not super emotional. How does that fit with the monkey's playful social side?
It's not that they don't have emotions, it's more about how they handle them. They combine that Taurus stability with the monkey's wit.
So no big dramatic displays, but they're not shallow either.
Exactly. They feel things deeply, but they process those feelings in a very specific way. That groundedness from the Taurus mixes with the monkey's ability to see things from different angles. It makes them amazing friends and partners, honestly. They offer stability and dependability, but they also keep things fun and intellectually stimulating.
I can imagine conversations with a Taurus monkey must be awesome. Like you could talk about serious stuff, but then they'd lighten the mood with a joke.
Exactly. They're not afraid to dive into the deep end, but they also know how to keep things light and engaging.
Before we move on, one more thing from the research that really stood out. This idea that Taurus monkeys have this incredible potential for greatness, like they're capable of achieving amazing things.
True.
Absolutely true. That blend of practicality, adaptability, and determination, it sets them up for success in so many areas. Entrepreneurs, artists, leaders, you name it.
It's like they have all the ingredients, but they need to find the right recipe, the right environment to thrive. And understanding their likes and dislikes is key to that. Knowing what motivates them, what makes them tick, that's how we help them shine.
Okay, so what makes them tick? What kind of stuff do they love? What are their passions?
Versatility is huge for them. Anything that challenges their mind allows them to be creative. Puzzles, strategy games, even just a lively debate, they love it all.
So they actually crave mental stimulation.
Big time. They need to constantly be learning and growing. Anything repetitive or limiting just wouldn't work for them.
That makes sense. On the flip side, what would make a Taurus monkey run for the hills? What are their big no-nos?
Rigid routines and monotonous tasks are their worst nightmare. They need structure, sure, but they also need the freedom to explore new ideas.
So it's finding that balance between stability and spontaneity. They need that Taurus security, but also the monkey's love of exploration.
You nailed it. It's like needing a base camp, but then going on expeditions from there. They need that grounding to feel safe, but then their curiosity takes over.
This is so insightful. Just seeing how that Taurus and monkey energy plays out is fascinating.
Right. The more we understand how they work, the better we can connect with them.
I'm already hooked. What else are we diving into?
Next up, we're going to unpack their communication style. It's this amazing mix of wit, adaptability, and straightforwardness.
Okay, now I'm really curious. This is just getting good.
Oh, we've also got some fun stuff coming up about lucky numbers, colors, even gemstones for Taurus monkeys.
Perfect. Can't wait to get into all of that. This deep dive is just getting started. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-1208, part 2 of 3.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of the Taurus monkey. We've been talking about this amazing mix of practicality and cleverness that makes them so unique.
Yeah, it's been pretty fascinating, hasn't it?
Totally.
All right.
That grounded Taurus combined with the witty monkey, it's like they can handle anything life throws at them.
That's a great way to put it. They've got this inner compass, helps them stay true to their values, but also be open to new stuff. And that inner compass shows up in their relationships too, right? We've talked about how loyal and devoted they are as partners and friends.
Oh, absolutely. Those relationships mean the world to them. They put a lot of effort into making them work.
Makes sense with the Taurus's need for stability and the monkey's social nature. But I'm wondering, could there be any bumps in the road? Like, could that Taurus stubbornness we talked about cause problems?
It definitely could, yeah. That determination is usually a good thing, but if their Taurus side feels threatened or insecure.
It could lead to friction.
Exactly.
So it's important for their partners to understand that it's not about being right. It's more about that need for security coming from their Taurus side.
Exactly. And it's a two-way street too, right? Taurus monkeys need to be aware of that stubborn streak if it starts getting in the way of the relationship.
They need to be willing to compromise.
Yeah. See things from their partner's side. It's about balance, really.
Finding that sweet spot where both the bull and the monkey can express themselves without creating a bunch of conflict.
You got it. And that balance is super important in their work life too.
How so?
Taurus monkeys need a job that offers both structure and flexibility. A solid foundation is important to them, but they also need room to be creative, to try new things.
Okay, so a job that's too routine would be a bad fit, but also anything too chaotic would probably overwhelm them.
Yeah, they need that sweet spot, right? Where they can use their skills and talents, but also feel challenged.
Makes sense. Our sources also mention a lot of strengths that are common in Taurus monkeys. Practicality and adaptability are definitely up there, right?
Oh, for sure. Those are like their superpowers. They can make a plan and stick to it. But if something unexpected happens.
They can just roll with it.
Exactly. And that makes them super resourceful. They're the people you want on your team when you need a creative solution.
Plus, they're hard workers, right? Really dedicated.
Totally. Once they decide to do something, they're all in. They've got this drive, this inner motivation that pushes them forward.
I can definitely see how all of that would lead to success. It's like they're naturally set up to achieve great things.
And we can't forget their charisma. Taurus monkeys have this magnetic energy, this charm that draws people in.
I remember you mentioned earlier that blue is a lucky color for them. I'm curious, how does that relate to all of this? Like to their communication and how they connect with people?
It's interesting, right? Blue is often associated with communication, trustworthiness.
And loyalty.
Yeah, all of that, which, if you think about it, aligns perfectly with a Taurus monkey. It's also a color of peace and tranquility.
So maybe it helps them stay calm when things get a little rough.
Could be. It's like a reminder to be true to themselves, to communicate clearly and honestly, to approach things with a level head.
And it's not just blue that's lucky for them, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the number 3 earlier, too.
Oh, yeah. The number 3 is super significant for Taurus monkeys.
What's the connection there?
Well, in numerology, the number 3 represents creativity, self-expression, that balance between the physical, mental, and spiritual.
I see. And for a Taurus monkey,
It symbolizes their ability to blend their practical side with their creative spirit.
that makes sense. Finding harmony between those two sides of themselves. It's like an invitation to let both the bull and the monkey shine through.
Exactly. That integration is key for them. And speaking of things that are beneficial for Taurus monkeys, the source also mentions a specific gemstone,
Ooh, which one?
citrine.
Citrine. I love citrine. It's such a happy stone, so full of energy. Why citrine for a Taurus monkey?
Well, citrine is often called the success stone. It's thought to attract abundance, prosperity, joy.
All good things.
Right. It's also linked to creativity, confidence, clear thinking, all qualities that resonate with Taurus monkeys.
It's like citrine just amplifies their natural abilities,
Yeah.
helps them achieve their goals and attract good vibes.
Exactly. It's like a little extra support from the universe.
I love that. Okay, we've talked a lot about their strengths and their lucky elements. But what about their weaknesses? Are there any areas where they might struggle?
Well, even though their practicality and adaptability are huge strengths, they can sometimes be a bit too cautious.
Resistant to change.
Yeah, especially if their routine is messed up or they feel insecure.
That's that Taurus influence coming through. But doesn't that clash with the monkey's need to explore, to try new things?
It can, for sure. It creates this inner conflict. They have to find that balance between security and growth.
So it's about recognizing that fear of the unknown
Yeah.
and choosing to step outside their comfort zone anyway.
Exactly. It's about embracing the unknown, trusting their own resourcefulness to handle whatever comes up.
It's like having a map that highlights the potential rough patches, so they can be extra careful in those areas.
That's a great way to think about it. And it's important to remember that every astrological sign has its strengths and weaknesses. Nobody's perfect.
And it's about recognizing those patterns and using that knowledge to live a more intentional life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to all the Taurus monkeys listening, embrace your unique mix of practicality and cleverness. Celebrate those strengths, and don't be afraid to work on the weaknesses.
And for everyone else, if you're lucky enough to have a Taurus monkey in your life, appreciate them for who they are. Support them on their journey through all the ups and downs.
This has been so insightful. I feel like we've just scratched the surface of what makes a Taurus monkey tick.
We've definitely covered a lot, but there's still more to explore. Next up, we're going to dive into their communication style. It's a captivating blend of wit, adaptability, and straightforwardness. Get ready to be amazed. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1208, part 3 of 3.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of the Taurus monkey.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. We've learned so much about their practicality, their cleverness, and that playful energy they bring to everything.
They're definitely not boring.
Not at all. And now we get to talk about how they communicate. You mentioned before that they're witty, adaptable, and straightforward. That's a lot to put together.
It is, and it's amazing how they do it. It's like they're weaving these different threads together. That Taurus influence, it makes their communication very honest and direct.
So no mind games.
Nope. What you see is what you get. They mean what they say, and they say what they mean. But then,
There's a but.
well, then that monkey energy comes in. It adds this layer of wit and playfulness, so they can be talking about something serious.
But they'll throw in a joke?
Maybe. Or just a clever turn of phrase, something to keep you engaged. But they never lose sight of the main point.
So it's not just about being funny. It's about using that humor to connect with people.
Exactly. They want you to feel at ease, even when you're talking about complex stuff.
I get it. It's like they're speaking to your head and your heart at the same time. You get the logic, but you also feel understood.
And that's what makes them so persuasive. It's not about forcing their opinion on you. It's more like an invitation. Come see things from my perspective, you know?
We talked before about blue being a lucky color for Taurus monkeys and how it represents clear communication. It's all making sense now.
Right. They speak their truth, but they do it in a way that feels respectful.
It's not just about getting their point across. It's about building real connections.
Okay, but is there ever a downside to their communication style? We talked before about that stubborn streak. Could that get in the way sometimes?
It definitely could. Sometimes that straightforwardness can come across as a little blunt, especially if they're not paying attention to how they're saying things.
So they might need to soften their tone a little bit.
Yeah, or just find a more tactful way to phrase things, especially when they're dealing with someone sensitive.
Makes sense. It's like their words have power and they need to use them wisely,
Mm,
especially in delicate situations.
couldn't agree more.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredible. We've learned so much about the Taurus monkey, their practicality, their cleverness, their potential for greatness, and now their communication style.
It's been a really fascinating exploration. It really has.
Yeah,
It just shows how complex and interesting human personalities can be.
totally. And it makes you appreciate that every astrological sign has something special to offer.
Whether you're a Taurus monkey yourself or you just want to understand the people in your life a little better, this knowledge is so valuable.
It's like a key to unlocking deeper understanding.
So, to all the Taurus monkeys out there, embrace your unique blend of energies and never stop exploring what makes you you.
And for everyone else, if you're lucky enough to know a Taurus monkey, cherish their loyalty, their wit, and their amazing ability to navigate the world.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.